Asmongold takes. Okay. Okay. Asmongold takes. Asmongold takes. Asmongold takes. Okay. Also, I do want to once again, can we trash John Mearsheimer for the millionth time? Yes, we can trash John Mearsheimer for the millionth time. Venezuela war is a bluff. Professor John Mearsheimer calls Venezuela war a Trump bluff too. On this show, for months, I've been telling you guys, it's a ticking clock. It's gonna happen. It's a question of whether it's gonna happen late 2025 or some point in 2026. That was the question. It's when is it gonna go down? But I said it had to happen in the next year. It had to happen at some point in 2026. I didn't think it was going to happen this quickly, but I also didn't write it off. But I said it was for sure going to happen. And the reason why is you don't start seizing those ships after blowing up the drug smuggling, speedboats or the non-drug smuggling speedboats, because they didn't really clarify that in every case. The only physical evidence that was ever found was marijuana bricks, which is not the cocaine that was being discussed, and certainly not the fentanyl that was being talked about on the campaign trail. But ever since they started seizing those boats to strangle the economy, I knew it was a ticking time bomb, that they would either starve out the regime for internal collapse, or they would try something before that point because they don't want to let it simmer too long. That they had to do something, that there was no pulling out at that point, but he was still on, as of a month ago, oh, it's a bluff. As of 1 month ago, John Mearsheimer was still saying, don't worry about it. John Mearsheimer, the same man who said the Russians would not invade Ukraine, but if they did invade Ukraine, that the war would be over very quick. Wrong on both accounts. Once again, the Venezuelan war is a bluff. It would make no sense in my realist framework. Once again, complete swing and a miss. How many YouTube knuckle dragger, podcast mouth breathers use this man to define their entire personality when it comes to IR and foreign relations? This is the same man who says that Ukraine's continued holdout, or Ukraine's ability to leverage itself a decent enough deal, is also impossible. And considering his running record, thank God he's betting against Ukraine. My goodness. Can this guy not get a single prediction right? I had to read his books for that video with Lonerbox on this channel, by the way. Okay, I had to suffer through a man labeling himself a professor. He labeled himself a professor. He got these books out. You got to give him the respect on that. And then I found, no, you don't. Actually, you don't. Actually, seems it might be easier to become a professor than one might believe. Asmongold takes. Asmongold takes. Asmongold takes. Okay. Let's hear it.
Here's one thing I'm going to say, okay? Don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't do it. Because if you went on Twitter, everybody was saying, this is against international law. You have to wait for Congress. We'll read the Constitution. Oh, you can't just do that. That's illegal. It's a war crime. And you know what Trump did? He just went in there and did it. That's it.
I don't know what to call it. I'm just going to be blunt. I love read the Constitution and like a frail, flamboyant voice. You mouth breather. Reading the Constitution. Fucking nerd.
Do that. That's illegal. It's a war crime. And you know what Trump did? He just went in there and did it. That's it. It's over. Just like what happened with Iran. Remember what happened after Iran? Nothing. Nothing happened. Because the fact is that if you have, here's the truth, if you have power and you have the ability to exercise that power through force, you are God. That's it. Nobody can tell you.
You know what connects me to Asmongold? I come from Scot-Irish roots, Scot-Irish German, right? So that means at some point my ancestors from Ireland, Scotland, and from Germany, for a cavalcade of imagine different reasons, crossed the transatlantic and came to this land full of trees and fields and the Chesapeake. Oh my gosh, right? And then we put our flag in it. And through a lot of brutality and expansion, eventually we created this country. But something ties me to Asmongold, who I don't know if he came from Poland, his ancestors. I don't know if they came from wherever, Spain, some cave on a mountain, maybe. Well, wherever they came from, the only thing that connects me to him really is the law. Is the law and the protections that we all hold, that we're all supposed to have. The law, the rights, the Constitution that we hold together. There are certain cultural bounds as well. You know, there's certain values that we're supposed to all hold as Americans. But the idea of a playing ground, an equal playing ground where all are equal before the law, and we have certain protections under it, and we have certain political power under it as individuals, as people who can vote, and people who can participate in the process. That's what connects us all together. And to just talk about that system as like the Constitution. Asmongold is not going to be president. I don't know where this just do like power fantasy. Just do it. Like if your position is really like none of that matters, any constitutional concerns, congressional oversight, the things that bound Americans to each other and has kept this experiment going for now 250 years. We just had our 250th birthday. If that doesn't matter to you and it's just power, like you do realize you'll never be president. Asmongold's never going to be president. I'm never going to be president. The odds of anybody who's watching right now being president is tremendously low. The odds of you having the power to just do it and being the right person to make that decision is very low. So we have a Congress and a Senate. So even though we give a lot of trust and power to the person who's president of the United States, it's supposed to limit them. Just do it. Just do it. My goodness. And what if just doing it leads to like soldiers getting tied up in a conflict, in a war?
No, nobody can resist you. Nobody can try to hold you accountable. You can do anything and everything that you want. And there's nothing that anybody can do about it. And so always keep that in mind. Always keep that in mind, that there is a way. Do something. Yes, keep the same energy. Absolutely. And so why not go and do this in Minnesota? Like, I mean, if we can do this in Venezuela, I'm not saying we should bomb Minnesota, right? I don't think that we should do that. I mean, I know that people might not like Minnesota, but I don't think that we should bomb Minnesota. But I do think that there are other ways that we could solve some of the problems over there, right? White women molding on Twitter. Exactly. See, if Trump would do this all the time, I'd probably vote for him a third time. Like, this is what we need. We need to do this like once a week. Like once a week, we need to go and like figure out who's going to get blown up today.
The world is like a video game. It's like a video game. You like blow up stuff and then you're, oh. This and Hassan, those are the options on Twitch. This and Hassan, those are your two options, okay? You either get on Hassan's arc, you get on Asmongold's spaceship. Those are your two. Those are your two options. Welcome, 21st century. Twitch commentary. Okay. So, if you see Chinook helicopters go into a country and just take out the president, we just blow up a bunch of stuff, and you're an American, maybe in his heart he's getting this type of, I don't know,
Burns is an immoral, morally corrupt, bankrupt man.
If it is some sort of patriotism in his chest, really honestly I'm leaning more towards bloodthirst. But this feeling of you're seeing us go in there, kick in the door, smash stuff up, grab Maduro, go out of there, and god damn it, I'm Dirty Harry. Screw the law, screw the institutions, certainly the international bodies. And let's just grab them and let's just get out of there. I'm Dirty Harry. Love that movie. That's already a bad idea on the international stage. I think that there should be standards that all countries are upheld to. Because I even think limiting principles in our country doesn't only just protect other countries from us, but also protects, for example, U.S. personnel in our countries from getting dragged into a war that it has no business fighting, right? I do think that there should be international standards. I do think there should be international norms. I think it helps everyone. I think it creates a more peaceful world. And I think it's the only way you can try to create any type of order, even attempt to, the amount of chaos and the wild, wild west, you can call it, that is international relations, right? So I can fight on that front. But he didn't say oh, let's go into a different country every week and blow it. He just said we need to blow something up, right? It could be international. It could be apparently a president, or it could be an internal issue. And he brought up Minneapolis, which I assume what he means is the significant Somali community in Minneapolis and the Nick Shirley video that was released covering fraud that was full of holes, but covered the known and well reported on issue of fraud in Minneapolis. And so my question would be, what is that blow up? So, oh, we should go in there. Well, I guess we shouldn't blow up our own country. I guess we shouldn't bomb our own country, but we need to go in there and find out something to blow up. So then what do we do? If we're talking about like 85 to 95 convictions on the issue, it's already been reported on for years in both local press and other press outlets. You can go back to 2023 or even before. You can go back to the late, I think like 2019. Then what are we talking about instead of blowing something up? Is this a reference just to a disregard of the law? Because that's how I interpreted it. Just screw the law, screw this, screw that. Let's just smash and grab people. It's like he gets one like injection of dopamine where he sees like a scene that maybe somebody could play like that Team America theme song, like America, hell yeah, fuck yeah, and like immediately like any idea of like, the sovereignty of nation states or anything around that, but even basic American laws and principles can be thrown out as long as it looks like you could make a cool hype edit and you get at them, whoever them is, whether it be the president of Venezuela or whether it be a community in Minneapolis, Minnesota, in the United States of America. There can be an equal disregard of the law as long as it gives you that feeling in your chest. He speaks so high and mighty. He speaks like so as if like, come on, you could just make yourself a god. I don't know. You just play too much 40K or like where the power trips coming from. Like, I don't think Total War is for everybody. But law and order is the only thing that protects us from the state. If you're talking about that being allowed in the United States, some people say fascism is empire, taking its tools that it uses abroad and bringing them back home. But I would say that there's no reason for us to give the government the authority, the power, or the feeling that it has the ability at any point to just say, screw the law, turn on the radio, crank it up, and just like hit full throttle. Because that's how you end up deporting women to foreign men's prisons, which is what this administration has done. That's how you end up ignoring court orders when it comes to the deportation of people from this country. Court orders say don't deport them, and then they deport them anyway, ignoring the courts, hustling them onto planes as fast as possible, knowing the courts told you to stop because you're trying to deliberately say the law does not matter. I am not dictated by the law. I believe it has to be done individually. My faction believes it, so it shall be done, irregardless of what the Constitution says, irregardless of what that says. And then when you hear these leaked conversations of the President of the United States talking to a foreign strongman in Latin America, asking them, how about we start taking American citizens and putting them in your prisons? American citizens and deporting them to a foreign American prison. A foreign non-American prison. Like if you say, oh, none of this matters, none of that law and order matters, this is the same president that was trying to use authorities to intimidate Jimmy Kimmel. These are the same president that was talking about going after the broadcasting licenses of news companies that didn't cover him in a positive fashion. How quickly do all these people who were screaming free speech, free speech, free speech over and over and over and over again, so quickly will you give up the powers that give you that in the first place, as long as it makes the president look cool, as long as you look based, as long as you can put on like a cool hype edit on the internet as you load people blindfolded into the back of a truck while you hear dubstep going wah, 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 wah. So you get hard. That's what it feels like. That they're trying to scratch some itch. That's what it feels like when I hear Asmongold talk here, as if he's trying to justify the vote he made, but it's not enough just to justify it to himself. He has to not just justify making Trump president, he needs to justify, as he said, making Trump God. Because sometimes when Trump gets in that presidential office, that's how he behaves. Like he has that type of power.